Welcome, geometry students, to the homework help video, page 334, numbers 1 through 18 and 30 through 39. Let's go ahead and get started with today's homework. Here we go. Numbers 1 through 6. We're going to use this diagram right here, and the directions say to answer the following questions. So here we go. Question number 1 is triangle. Is triangle EBD, this triangle here, a reflection of triangle ABD? And the answer is yes, it is. See this line right here? If you were to fold the piece of paper right on this black line right here, this triangle here would fall right on top of this triangle here. So yes, it is a reflection. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. Does the entire pattern, this whole thing right here, does this entire pattern have lines of symmetry? Well, the answer is no. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of lines of symmetry, but every single line on here is not a line of symmetry. So no, the entire pattern does not have lines of symmetry. Okay, number 3, the reflection of DEF right here. NDE, and here's line DE right here. The reflection of triangle DEF in this line right here is blank. What triangle? Well, students, figure it out. If you were to fold this piece of paper right on this black line, this red triangle right here would fall right on top of what triangle? Would it not fall right on top of this triangle right here? Sure it would. Sure it would. And so what triangle is that? That's triangle EDB. So the answer is triangle DEB. And students, usually it matters which way you write the letters, but if you look in the direction, it says that all of these triangles are equilateral. That means all of the lengths are the same, so it really doesn't matter which order we write DEB. Okay, alright, moving on to number 4. The reflection of triangle DEF right here. And then we're looking for a line. DEF is reflected in what line to triangle GEF over here? Well, guys, the line is right here. Hopefully you can see this. The line is right here. If you were to fold this piece of paper right on this line, this triangle right here would fall right on top of this triangle right over here. So it would be this line right here. And that line, of course, is called line EF. So right here goes EF. Triangle DEF. The reflection of triangle DEF in EF is triangle GEF. Okay? Alright, let's continue on. Number 5. If the pattern were folded along line FG, okay, here's FG. If the pattern were folded right there, which triangles would be reflected on each other? Okay, well, first of all, this triangle here would be reflected on this triangle here. Okay, so EFG to GFI. Okay, right there. But there's 2 more triangles too. If you were to fold this piece of paper right here on GF, also notice that this triangle here right here would fall right on top of this triangle right here. So also we have triangle EFD and triangle IFH that would fall on top of each other. And I don't have all of that up here, but that's That's the other answer. Triangle EDF and triangle IFH. Okay. Okay. Now, quickly finishing up this section, number 6. An octahedron has 8 triangular sides. How many vertices does it have? Well, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it has 6 vertices. Okay. Alright, moving on to numbers 7 through 12. Now, this will be really interesting and pretty tough, so listen carefully. Name the image of segment 1. Okay, so here's segment 1 right here. Now, I want you to reflect segment 1 in the x-axis. So here's the x-axis, okay? If you were to fold a piece of paper right on this red line, this blue line would fall right on top of this line right here. And what is this line called? Line 6. So the answer is line 6. Let's try another one, okay? Reflection in the y-axis, okay? Here's the y-axis. So if we were to fold this sheet of paper right on this line right here, this blue line would fall right on top of what line? It would fall right on top of this line here. And that's line number 2. So the answer is 2. Alright, now let's save number 9 for last. 9's pretty tough, okay? Let's go on to number 10. Reflection in the y-axis and then reflected in the x-axis. So here's my line right here. We're going to reflect it in the y-axis first. So this blue line becomes this line. And then we're going to reflect it in the x-axis. So now we're going to fold the paper here. So this line here would fall right on top of this line here. Okay? And that's line number 5. Line number 5. Alright, let's take a look at number 11. We're going to reflect it in the x-axis. So here's my line. I'm going to fold the piece of paper right here. And this line would fall right here. And then I'm going to reflect it in the y-axis. So I'm going to fold this sheet of paper right here. And now this line would fall right on top of this line here. So line number 5. And then number 12, let's see, reflection in the x-axis, okay? So let's see what we got here. We've got our line right here. We're going to reflect it in the x-axis, so it comes right here. And then we're going to reflect it back across the x-axis, so it goes back to this line right here. Okay? So it'll be line 1. Let's look at that one again, okay? You're going to reflect it across the x-axis to here, and then reflect it again back across the x-axis back to over here. So the answer is line 1. Now, this number 9 is very interesting. Notice it says reflection in the line y equals x. Now students, the line y equals x means this. If you were to put 1 in for x, you would get 1 out for y. If you were to put -1 in for x, you would get -1 out for y. If you were to put 0 in, you get out 0, so on and so forth. So the line y equals x is this line here. Do you see this? It's 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. And then -1, -1, -2, -2, -3, -3, so on and so forth. So we're going to fold the sheet of paper right on this line. Now, here's the blue line. If we were to fold this sheet of paper right here on this line, would not this line right here land right over here on line number 5? Sure it would, definitely. So the answer is 5. Well, I did not mean to do that. But the answer is still 5. Okay. Alright, there we go. 14. They've given you the blue figure, and they've given you the black line that you're going to reflect the drawing on. They want you to draw the other part on the other side. Now, students, to be honest with you, it's just really, really simple. I'm not a very good drawer, so I'm going to use the book. But there we go. I mean, doesn't that make sense? If you were to fold this piece of paper right here on this line, this part right here would fall right on top of this part over here. Okay? It makes total sense. Let's try another one, number 14. Okay? If we were to fold this sheet of paper right here on this line, then we'd have this drawing over here, and you must have it the same distance from the line. Okay? Must be the same distance over here. That we have, okay? And so, there's my drawing. And there it is. If you were to fold a sheet of paper right here on this line, this triangle here would fall right on top of this triangle here. And if your drawings are not perfect, that's totally fine, but it's still good practice. Okay, number 15. Well, same thing, guys. If you were to fold the sheet of paper right here on this line, the circle would be right here, and this line right here would be going this way like this. Like that. Okay, and there's that line I was talking about. So there we go. Okay, so if you were to fold this sheet of paper right in half on this line, this circle here would fall right on top of this circle over here. Okay, alright, moving on. Numbers 16 through 18, they want us to state yes or no. Do we have a reflection? Well, let's think about it for a second here. If we were to fold the sheet of paper right here on this line, would this arrow fall right on top of this arrow here? No, it would not. It would look like this. Something like that, okay? And so no, it would not. So the answer is no. This is not a reflection. Okay, number 17. Okay, if you were to fold this sheet of paper right here on this black line, right there, this triangle here would not fall right on top of this triangle here. In fact, it looks like the triangle tip would be right here, and then it would go something like this, and then curve like this, and then go back to that, something like that, okay? So no, it is not a reflection. It is not. Okay, number 18. Yes, this is perfect. If you were to fold this sheet of paper right here on top of this line, this shape here and this shape here would fall right on top of each other. So yes, we definitely have a reflection, yes. Alright. Okay, moving on. Now, this is going to get really interesting. Numbers 30 through 37. The directions say this. Plot the given point, then plot and label its reflection in the line y equals x, okay? Now please let me help you here. Watch this carefully, please. First of all, let's get our line up here. Y equals x. Remember, y equals x goes through 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 0, 0, etc., etc., okay? So there's my line, y equals x. Now here's my ordered pair, positive 3, negative 4, right here. Alright? Now students, they want you to find the point that's a reflection of this point, reflected in this line right here, y equals x. So what you do is you kind of draw a line in your mind, or with a pen, however you want to do it, that's perpendicular to this line here. the same direction over here. Okay, like this. There we go. Now, listen to me carefully. If your numbers here are 3, -4, then your numbers over here, if they're reflected in y equals x, this order pair over here will have the numbers 3, 4. Now the 4 might come first, the 4 might come second, the 3 might come first, the 3 might come second. They might be positive, they might be negative, but they will have the same two numbers. Well guys, if you make sure your lines are perpendicular, and you make sure this line here is the same length as this line here, can you not see what it is? It's over -4. And it's up +3. So there we go. Pretty simple, guys. We're going to practice 7 more of these, okay? It's not that difficult. Okay, let's take a look now at number 31. Okay, number 31 is 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to go like this and draw a line here. So obviously I'm going to go right here to that point right there. They're perpendicular and they're the same distance. So I know I'm going to have the numbers 5 and 6 somehow in this order pair. Let's see what I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6, 5. They're both positive. Alright. Okay, here we go. Moving on. Let's take a look now at number 32. Number 32 is -3, +6. Right here. So I'm going to very carefully draw a line that's perpendicular. Okay? And then draw the same line that's approximately the same distance. That looks pretty good right there. Okay? So if this point here is -3, 6, then I know this point here should have a 6 and a 3 in it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So +6, -3. Okay? We're moving right along, guys. It's just not that difficult. Okay? Alright, moving on to number 33. -2, -5. -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -5. Okay, I'm going to draw that perpendicular line. Okay. And I'm going to continue on the same length. And it'll be about right here. Alright. So, this point here is -2, -5. And this point here should be -5, -2. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Okay, it's not that difficult. Okay, let's try another one here. Let's try number 34. No, number 34 is not going to have an answer, okay, because 34 falls right on the line. So here we go, 34 is 2, 2, right here. So if that point falls right on the line, how can I reflect it in the line? I can't, so there's nothing I can do. Number 35, 4, 1, so over 4, down 1. There we go. There's my ordered pair, 4, -1. So I'm going to go perpendicular to the line here. Okay, and then go the same distance. Right there. Okay, and what is that ordered pair? -1, +4. So there's my answer. -1, +4. Okay, not too bad. Here we go. Let's take a look at number 36. Alright, -6, -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. So there we go. I want to reflect that point in the line y equals x. So draw my perpendicular line. Then keep going. And it would be right right here. Now that ordered pair is -2, -6. So that's my answer. -2, -6. Okay. Again, not too difficult. Alright, number 37. -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, +6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's draw a perpendicular line. Right there. That's going to be +1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. +6, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it has the same two numbers as my original point. So there we go. Okay, students, I hope that's made sense. That's how you reflect a point in the line y = x. Okay? Alright, let's continue on. Here we go. Now, I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm going to leave that y = x there for a reason. Okay, now, remember, let's go ahead and try these last two problems. These last two are pretty tough, so pay attention and let me help you, okay? Let's get these out of the way. And let's bring this over to the other page. Alright, there we go. Now, here's what the directions say. The directions say, sketch the given line, then sketch the line's reflection in the line y = x. Okay? So, here we go. Our first line we're going to deal with is this right here. Now, the first thing they tell us to do in the directions is sketch the given line. So, I'm going to do that. I'm going to use a quick table of values. And because I have a fraction here, I'm going to put a number in for x. I'm going to use 2 and 4. So I get out whole numbers, okay? So put a 2 in for x here. 1/2 times 2 is 1. 1 minus 3 is -2. Now put a 4 in for x right here, okay? A 4 for x. 1/2 times 4 is 2. 2 minus 3 is -1. So I'm going to plot this line here. And I'm going to plot it in blue. Alright, so 2, -2. 4, -1. That's not a very good line. Alright, here we go. Now, students, they want you to reflect this line in y = x. Well, students, we know how to do this. We just learned how to take points and reflect them across the y = x line. So, take this point here, go ahead and draw a line here. 1, 2, then go 1, 2. So I want this point right here. Okay, now draw this perpendicular line. It would be right here. So I'm going to do the reflection in green. There, we did it. Isn't that cool? There we go. Students, all that you have to do is when you graph this first line, get 2 points, and then take those 2 points and reflect those 2 points in the line y = x, and they'll be over here, and then draw your line. Okay? And you'll have a line that reflects the other line very well. Okay? Alright, let's try the last one. Hopefully this will work pretty well. Here we go. And I hope that makes sense what I just did. Okay, let's take a look now at this line here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and graph this one in blue again. And I'm going to use the numbers 1 and 2. Actually, I'm going to spread it out a little bit. I'm going to use the numbers 0 and 3 just to give me a little more space. So put a 0 in for x, I get out a 2. Put a 3 in for x, and I get out an 8. So, one point is 0, 2, and the other one is 3, 8. Right here. Okay, So I'm going to go ahead and draw that line. Like that, okay? Now remember, I know 2 points. So if I know 2 points, all that I have to do now is reflect those 2 points in y equals x and then draw the line. So let's see. There's my perpendicular line. There's my other one right over here. So there we go. And then here is going to be right there. Okay? So draw this line. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. So that's how you do it, guys, okay? I hope this homework output has been a help to you. I hope you've learned a lot about reflections in lines and reflections just in general, okay? If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call or email.